This is Rock News.
This is Rock News. Welcome to the 30th Sunday service in our year of triple grace and rest, 25th July 2015. I am Ifoma Ajumobi. Here is the news. House on the Rock, the Word House, has had a series of interesting activities this past week. For more on these activities, Amazing Grace is standing by for church update.
House on the Rock, the Word House, Enugu, has had a series of interesting activities this past week from the 2 Sunday services on the 19th of July 2015, which had the senior pastor Reverend Edwin Bayebo preaching on the benefits of tithing and honoring God first in all we do. It was an explosive one at the midweek communion service on Wednesday, 23rd July 2015, which experienced Pastor Fred Zamani all the way from House on the Rock, Zamfara State. He gave the congregation amazing insights, analysis, and exposition of God as the master chef who takes time to cook and orchestrate our lives according to his master plan. The woman-to-woman ministry waxes stronger each passing day, week, and month as she rolls out series of life-changing seminars and programs every last Saturday of every month. One of such programs took place this past Saturday, 25th July 2015. We'll give you more details of this report in our next broadcast. House on the Rock, Ebonyi, the governing house, was set on the speed gear as they celebrated their 7th anniversary and Kingdom Reality Conference tagged Double Rest on 12 to 15 July 2015. It had Reverend Barnabas Erastus from House on the Rock, Kaduna, Reverend Edwin Bayebo, House on the Rock, Enugu, and Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Nshi, the CAN Chairman, Ebonyi State Chapter, and District Superintendent, Assemblies of God as guest ministers. Pastor Bright Idada, the resident pastor, was the host. To say that House on the Rock, the Word House, Enugu, would ever be tired of stanchions, decking, and construction escapades is a lie, as this year of triple grace and rest has witnessed and is still experiencing relentless construction of a 4-floor building attached to the church. During the week, workers were seen administering various solutions to the 9-month-old building. The painting and fixing of the door, window burglars are on. Decking for the first floor is in top gears amongst others. The efforts of the church members is obviously being maximized, and this is worth commending. And finally, taking a blast from the past week's House on the Rock, the Word House proudly furnishes the children's church with exquisite set of musical instruments to make the worship more fun-filled. Who says children can play music? I am Amazing Grace Ajayi reporting for Rock News.
Thank you, Amazing Grace. And for a summary of activities that made headlines nationwide, here is news in 60 seconds with Sami Ajufo.
News in 60 seconds.
Here is news in 60 seconds. I am Sami Ajufo. The chief security officer of former President Goodluck Jonathan, who was rumored to have been dead, has debunked the rumors, saying he's alive and well in the hands of the DSS. Also, former National Security Advisor to President Jonathan, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, made headlines during the week as the DSS raided his home in Abuja. The federal government has barred 113 vessels from lifting oil in the 27 oil terminals in Nigeria, which reportedly have been involved in systematic oil theft recently discovered by the federal government. They are also being barred from operating in Nigerian territorial waters. For those of us who expect appointments by the president for ministerial positions, we'll have to wait a little bit longer, as the presidency has disclosed any appointment made for ministerial slots in the federal cabinet will take effect from September 2015. According to reports, EFCC has concluded plans to start probing all former ministers, special advisors, heads of parastatals, and all aides of former President Goodluck Jonathan. President Buhari was the subject of media discourse during the week due to his official state visit to United States of America, hosted by President Barack Obama. According to reports, top on the agenda was insurgency in the northeastern part of Nigeria and the fight against corruption. In sports, FIFA President Sepp Blatter was sprayed with fake dollars by British comedian Simon Brodkin, who gate-crashed a press conference in Zurich. He went in front of Sepp Blatter, placed the money in front of him on a table and said, "This is for North Korea 2026. And finally on news in 60 seconds, if you ever had plans of joining the UK Metropolitan Police Force, then you would have to learn a second language. Over 300 languages are spoken in the UK alone, and everyone who is interested in joining the UK Metropolitan Force must be able to speak at least one of those 300 languages. Yoruba surprisingly made number 1 on that list. For everyone who is interested in joining, I think you should learn how to say "Ẹ káàárọ̀." Let's go back to the newsroom.
News in 60 seconds.
To conclude Rock News today, here is Rock Information Box.
Hi everyone, my name is Ufoma Olushino, and I'm here to talk to you about puzzles and the creative development of a child. I'm excited about this topic because I know that it's very well needed at this time. Paul Gray, an American, said something. He said, "The most important outcome of education is to get students to become independent of formal education." Also, taking the cue from the words of John Dewey, he said, "Give the pupils something to do and not something to learn. And if that doing is of such a nature as to demand thinking, learning naturally results." This is what puzzles do for children, exactly what puzzles can do for children. The purpose of puzzles in the life of a child and even adults is to make them intentional learners that can adapt to any environment. And we all know that this 21st century is a changing environment. It therefore means that every child, adults, need skills to be able to adapt favorably to the environment. I'll just roll out some of these skills for us to know. 1. Logical thinking and problem-solving skills. By this I mean a child develops a never give up spirit. He develops this "I can do" attitude. I never give up. I try and try until I get it. In other words, he becomes resilient at what he does. He thinks out of the box. He learns to break the boundaries and look outside. Not one-way learning, but multi-dimensional learning. 2. Critical thinking skills. A child will critically think about things. He will critically observe, critically manage, critically look at things and know what is the best way to solve this thing. And so they are exposed, their brains keep on working. They use their brains to think out solutions that ordinarily they wouldn't do if they're not exposed to these puzzles. 3. Strategic planning and proactive winning moves. In life, we have heard before that he that fails to plan has already planned to fail. Puzzles will expose a child to planning skills, when you know how to make your moves and you know that every move you make has consequences. So you develop the skills of thinking, stopping and thinking before moving. Another skill that a child can develop from learning puzzles and playing with puzzles is speaking skills. We know that public speaking is with us right now in the world. And so a child builds confidence. They learn how to use their imagination, to bring things out of nothing, to create things, to stand with confidence and face a crowd. And they are not afraid because they have been exposed to using their brains continuously. Another one is creativity and sequencing. A child can create something out of nothing. They are exposed to patterns. They can put things together. They can be creative. They can look at things and say, there's something that this thing can bring out because they're exposed to these puzzles. There are puzzles that even mathematicians, scientists use to make things. Architects use puzzles to make models of houses. These are the skills that these children will learn as they expose themselves to these puzzles. There are many other skills I can tell you. Visual perception, spatial awareness. The child learns to match things and they begin to see things intentionally. A child that is exposed to puzzles will be light years ahead of one that is not. I think that is important that all of us expose our children to these puzzles. Even ourselves, we still need the skills to help us break out of our boundaries and begin to think out of the box. It will help our businesses, help our education, help our lives. Parents, ask around. Ask your children's school, buy these puzzles and let them learn. They have far-reaching effects that can help them in this life. Puzzles
Brain teasers are very essential for the 21st century child, and I believe that every parent that wants a genius should expose their children to these puzzles. This is just a bit on puzzles and the creative development of a child. My name remains Ufoma Olushino. Thank you for watching.
And that will be all on Rock News today. On behalf of the production team, I am Ifoma Ajumobi. Thank you for watching and God bless.